eternal love, and KOS. It's important that I bring forth my understanding and my discovery. I have discovered the truth of us, that we are of one Father, that we are of one mother, that we are one. All are one. So what has happened was we have been restricted by white supremacy or white superiority from our heritage. And our heritage deals with all, not specialized, not a parcel, not a partition, not a particle, the whole, the entire, the total, the all. So what they have done was created a prison, language prison system. And as long as we speak this language, we will be in a prison. Now, the language for us, if we don't know any other language, then we must understand our ancestors, or should I say our foremothers and our forefathers of ancient times, of wise minds, who constructed something that all can be safe and have a relation with their creator through knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. And that's from least to greatest. We must understand in this time that we need an import of a certain utility of wisdom. And this wisdom is given to us from our divine creed. Our divine creed is Sufyan Islam. I have the proof, I have the evidence, and a part of that evidence is on the screen. Now, great people have came forth and brought this ideal first. So what I'm saying, it stands on the building up of these giants, what they left down for their posterity. And we all are the posterity of Sufyan Islam. Al-Sufyan Islam, as you see in the upper left corner. This word has been hidden to all people across the world, and especially across the Western Hemisphere. Western psychology, Western philosophy take ideas from our Eastern family, and through our Eastern family, they created and reconstructed ideals from the Eastern ancient creed and created the Western society. And this Western society is what have the language code. And that language code is a prison. Because the words that you know and the words that you say, these was given to you. Some of these words was forced into your mind. And these things have been neglected and none investigated. And this has been passed on from generation to generation. So now that comes to a halt. The people have not been told all of the truth. Though we have received certain, let's say, religious scriptures, these religious scriptures are not from our forefathers and foremothers. They are taken out of literature from our foremothers and forefathers and compiled into a book. And this book hold a residue of the truth, the wisdom that we possess and had and spread it across the world from the start of America to the beginning of Kemet. So in order to break these spells for myself, I have to now bring the language in. So the videos from this point will be carrying the names of how our ancient Americans spoke. And I'm talking about our wise ancient Americans. And so it's a lot of things that have not been said. And if you go through all of KOS videos, and some of the live videos, some of them are bad quality. And that because I'm in a bad location doing what I'm doing. But I'm finding the most effective means to be able to produce and show this in a published form so all can know it exists. And so through that, I ask of you to receive our ancient foremothers and forefathers' names. Because when we accept their names, we accept the issues that come with these names. And when we accept these issues, the issues of the Al Sufyan are all divine. So now we move ourselves from a human state of being into a state of divine being. Being in oneness with your creator. And so this is a powerful move in this time that we not only have English as our language, but we also have our ancient nigger language. So ancient niggers spoke a certain way. And that's why they wanted to take that away. And so when you hear certain ways of tones of word, they was usually tones from us. But they turned into words, later on down the line. And so in English, we don't use tones in English. We just use words. And so this is going to get us back in harmony with our DNA, with our RNA, and with our ethereal substance of the native plane, from where all are from. So with that understanding, of course, English would still be used, but in the sense of titling the videos in English format, when the names of what we're talking about are not English, though we are using the words or letters of English, you're going to see they create a different word, and words that you have not heard in that form, but you have heard stripped away, called English. So I want us to be able to understand that we have to start at the place of truth. Our foundation have to be upon love and truth. And love and truth can only come upon the foundation when we ourselves have made purity our way. So purity is our foundation that we build upon, and love and truth is our ceiling and roof. So now when we're speaking about ourselves, we always had a home. Our home was in our language and tones. And so when we begin to understand how these language and tones come back to us from an ancient wisdom. And so ancient wisdom did not speak Babel. So sometimes just a lot of English can turn into Babel. And this is why the black community, we have not gotten anywhere, because we has picked up the Babel. And so to disintegrate the Babel, we have to understand purity. And so as ancient niggas, ancient black people, let's start there. We are the same as we are today, but we no longer carry the same modality due to conquest of colonization. And colonization is codifying the land. Codifying meaning creating a language full of symbols that redirect the mind away from the purity of love and truth. And so any conquest that wasn't done in the name of divinity, and you will know because all will be under the knowledge of becoming divine. And this is a special practice that our family practiced. And we left this as a world template for all to have satisfactory upon their lives while living upon the land that they, Lord God, the Creator, Allah, gave us. Now, ancient niggas, we didn't call, for ancient niggas, Allah is what you would call God, but we didn't use that word God. That's a later import. G is not A. A is the beginning letter of all alphabets. That comes from our ancient predecessors who stamped all of this in correctness, righteousness, properness. And these things have benefited other nations who have paid attention to this. And since those nations who benefited from this, they did not teach this to the people that they came to the land of. And so we didn't get the full story, but we got introduced to half of the story. And that half of the story was a God exists. Now, in order you to understand the ancient paradigm of a nigga, you have to understand the connection with nigga and Allah. Nigga and Allah. For a nigga, God was, is, and evermore to be all law. All Allah. And so in history, in metaphysical history, in philosophy, in cosmology, and the sciences of eternal life. All these belong to Allah. And so when we talk, and we got to get away from religious beliefs and get into the purity. When we say God, do God really sound niggerish? Do God really sound niggerish? But does that really sound like a word that a nigger first created as the name of the creator? We have to remember our people, we are a dancing, rhythmic people that have harmony, and they were called soul when you listen just through all our music. So part of arithmetic is rhyming. So we always did on the 1-2. We didn't go on a square pattern or a waltz notation, square dancing, do do do. We always had rhythm with ours. So our name of our creator will have rhythm. And it will be not complex. It will be simple, and it will reflect all of life. Because this is how we design everything in mind. We came from the creator, so all we could do is have one reality. And that reality was Allah. All law. So rhythmically, you say it in ways. So what we're talking about, like in rhyming, Allah in rhyme would be la. You see how that rhymes and flow? That's because that comes from the ancient niggas. And the ancient niggas is the one who first created Allah. This has nothing to do with what we think of today when we associate people who have stolen our names, people who have stolen our identities, people who don't look like us, saying our heritage. Is getting us confused. So this is why all confusion must be deceased. Well, this is a letter of cease and desist. And so now that should at least bring a provoking thought that you investigate through contemplation. Allah. Now I could break this down even more, but we'll do that in other videos. But just deal with Allah. And these are musical notations. These are musical scales to show the supremacy of all. And all people breathe. So is a form of the breath. Is a form of the breath. So we all breathe. And then we call that the breath of life, because the breath comes from life. And when you hear the law, that's the creator of life. The creator of life is law. Law gave us the which is the breath. And so the breath of life is the only creature that can speak word is humanity. And dogs, cats, and animals breathe. See, and that's the H before the A. When you put the A in front of the H, it's that, and the only creature that can speak word can speak the L. No animal can breathe the L. Law is life. Law is the logos, the divine word from he who is within. So those are supporting examples to bring your mind to an understanding of an ancient wisdom. This wisdom predates our existence. If we are adept into the studies of our pre-masters who brought Islam to us, they have laid down a large foundation. And so the large foundation we should already know. And we should be able to build upon what has been left behind for us to inherit. And as heirs and stewards of what was inherited, we must leave it in a pristine purity. And this is what Islam represents: the purity of what is. You exist. Existence is. And you know that because you are. And when you are, then you have to understand that you have to be yourself. So it's a long understanding that leads to a shorter understanding by you receiving what's on the screen. Though they tried to erase Allah from the Western Hemisphere, Allah still exists on the Eastern Hemisphere. And through our great masterminds who incarnated on the West from Allah, gave us Allah on the West. And so, as we know, there's no birth record to Islam because there's no birth record to Allah. Allah is older than time, older than the sun, older than the moon, older than the universe. We're talking about the divine creator, the one, the infinite, the creator of all creation, of the seen and the unseen, of the known and the unknown. Who created existence? Allah. Allah is creator of existence. So this is part of breaking the language prison. Allah wishes not anything less than divine for us and our actions to be divine. If you are divine and your actions are divine, under the name of Allah, in the name of Allah, you are free. You are free. Now, as a free, you need to understand the wisdom of freedom. So make sure you get your copy of the Al Sufyan. You can email at KOS Community. That's KOSKOMMUNITY. KOS Community at gmail.com. you know, it's a lot of things I want to bring, and I have so much to bring that I don't have all the things have to be done in order. So we must know and understand the Sufyan from many various angles. We must see it from a Christian lens. We must see it from a Jewish lens. We must see it from a Muslim end. We must see it from an Indian philosophy lens. We see it from a Greek philosophy lens. We understand the yin and the yang philosophy. All these things are included in Islam. Islam holds all wise knowledge of all parts of faith. And that'll be important for me to bring on the screen. There we go, right there. 26. This is very important. This is why Allah in Islam is very important for the black people of America and black people all over the world, but most importantly, all people. Black people, because they have been lost and their language have been stolen from them, that connects them to their forefathers and their creator. And these things have political value. These things have status value. And these things are higher than any jurisdiction. So it would not be, if Allah has not made it to be, for all to be divine. And that's the equality that Allah brings, that all are equal under the law. Because as it says in 26, as all religions and all faiths are ultimately part of Islam. Just bear with the sound. I'm in live, like I always said, I'm always trying to bring it to y'all under terrible conditions. But this is how truth have to come. So 26, this is what we have to remind ourselves. Christianity, Judaism, Hebrew Israelite, Buddha, the Brahmayanas, when I say the Brahmayanas, that's the Vedas, the Suttas, the Namakayamas, all the Brahmayana texts, down to anything, even the Magi texts, the Zoroastrians. This predates and goes back even to past Kemet, the understanding of Kemet, and all of the ancient. So all those religions, monotheistic religions, and all monotheistic faiths are ultimately part of Islam. So all religions, no matter what the name of the religion is, all faiths, no matter what the name of the faith is, are ultimately part of Islam. It's Salam. So there you see it for yourself, that the original way of America was the way of Islam. Islam, not in the name Islam, predated Christianity and all religions. Islam has no birth record. Islam is the way of Allah. Allah is the divine creator, the infinite, the one, the all-knowing. So when we begin to connect ourselves with our relation to our creator, we begin to purify ourselves and bring ourselves to the level of understanding. And through this understanding, we begin to comprehend who and what we are. And we have the greatest text that predates later texts that includes the answers for those texts. And so Islam has nothing to do with magic. Actually, magic is actually the coverted Islam, where people join hidden societies and hidden organizations, hidden guilds to practice Islam, where Islam is open for all to practice Islam, so all can grow wise in knowledge and not have to be and not have to place a greater focus on magic as a meaning. So these things have been wiped and stolen and pushed aside, so we won't understand who we are and what we came from. We came from a world-class people. And these world-class people left world-class wisdom. And we have it in our hands today in its oldest form by him who is and who was to come after Esau. And so Esau is our name, our ancestral name for Jesus. Our forefathers and foremothers called Jesus Esau. And this is why Esau is named Islam. It's Salam. Because these are the teachings and the carry on of all our generations from the beginning of Adamu all the way to Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, all prophets. All these are great prophets, all the way to Prophet Muhammad and Prophet Ali. And we have been sustained by this wisdom. And this wisdom has kept us one across the world. And so they didn't never want ancient nigger science to become mainstream. And so they converted and reverted a different mainstream of all these religions and created false scriptures. And we have been inundated by falsities. In your heart, you know the difference between truth and falsehood. You know a good creator can never do anything bad. So when you come across false scriptures that's indicating in your heart that this is not good, then you know that it means it's bad. And nothing that our divine creator created was an error. Everything is in imperfect perfection. And to all understand perfection, there lies within imperfection. And so our goal is our target. Our target is to remove ourselves from a prison of lies. We remove ourselves from a prison of lies by each one waking up to the truth, to the purity of love and truth. And so if anyone value knowledge, if anyone respect knowledge, that is subscribed to this channel, come to this channel. Subscribe if you like the knowledge and wisdom. And begin to now incorporate yourself into a Sufyan way of life, which is divine. So we're finna really get into some deep essences of hidden knowledges in the open. Because it's a lot going on in the world created by these societies, and these societies will stay hiding knowledge. And if you know the knowledge, it's your duty and responsibility in the name of justice to come forth with the knowledge in a published form so all can know it exists. This is the first condition of proof. The first condition of proof is that it must exist. How you know it exists? Because it's in published form. So we're going to be upgrading our language. Every word that's going to come from this language is going to be associated to the Sufyan language. So our ancestors spoke the Sufyan language, and we're going to keep it continuing and going forth. So, oh yeah, let me go back to the other one, because it ain't about Arabic, as we're gonna see. It ain't about Arabic. So don't think you just finna have to learn a new language. This is finna be the easiest way to learn a sacred language, a divine language, meaning you're not gonna say empty words in this language. Every word has power and tone and a reality behind it. So we're going to show right here, 41. Behold, Allah is every language. So just right there, it don't matter what language you speak, if it's Hebrew, if it's Christian, if it's Jewish, if it's Buddhist, if it's Indianish, all those are languages. And Allah is every language. So we don't have to learn a particular language. Allah is every language, and every word of Allah is every language. So we just gonna learn the divine, and then we're gonna have everything covered. So, and Allah is the master of all language. So all we have to know right now, Allah is all. Why? Because Allah is the divine creator. And this is who we are bringing forth on the American land for the justice of all the people. As we will come to know, if you haven't done the studies on the videos, all these videos are dynamic. They are giving you knowledge that you would never receive unless you join hidden and secret societies that are against your morals. these knowledges that are being published on KOS channel is the most superior knowledge to be released on the planet. Meaning it don't matter what color you say, white, black, red, white, green, purple, gray, or supremacy, it wouldn't matter. We're talking about superior knowledge. Superior knowledge trumps all knowledge. Anything less than superior knowledge is inferior. So you need to go through the hours and collect yourself and regain yourself and understand what you have not been told. Ponder on it as you go throughout your days. While you at work, think on it. While you at home, think on it. If you're around great people, share it. If you're around people that you know that is respectful of knowledge and wisdom, share it. This is a divine moment for all of us on the Western Hemisphere especially, because now we can come to not only aid ourselves, but help the entire world to become a better place. And we must do that through our own actions. And our own actions must be in coherent and in alignment. So we ain't joining something. This is something that we naturally are. We come from this bloodline of ancient holy high priests. And priest is just a shorter word of saying Sufyan. There's a newer word than saying Sufyan. Sufyan is our word. Priest is their word. And they can keep it now since they stole it from us. And they dirtied it all up. The clean word now is Sufyan. Sufyans follow the Sufi law. And this is what is under. All Islam is under Sufi law. There's no such thing as one and then not being one. Or one and separate. Or in groups, in different groups. This is the imposters imposing confusion upon the lands. All lands belong to one creator. One creator created all these lands, which was one just like the creator. But we have to understand through a large historicity, it's a long compilation of history that is unknown. And if we don't know this history, then we don't know what we don't know. So what this would do is update us like software into the present superior knowledge, where you can now guide yourself on this planet with everything that you needed. So now when we're talking about understanding, you understanding Allah for by wisdom alone. And you only get wisdom from Allah through his words. Other than that, you don't need books. You don't need any form of an idol, any figure, or any form or anything created. The words of Allah are uncreated. So we are uncreated once we have the union with Allah. And this is what we have to understand with our language. Speaking English constantly, repetitively, repeatedly, redundantly is not getting us nowhere, because it's not associated with us in power. These people created this system for subjugation of power. You will notice every people that have their power have their language. So now that we understand Allah's all language, now we are back in superior knowledge. So all we need to do now is understand more of who, what, when, where, why, and how not is Allah. Allah. And so the next videos will be in our ancestral names, in their power, that divine grace, bringing through and bringing forth the published forms. And then me, myself, after that's all done, I have a massive work of my own that I'm yet to bring forth, that I have been writing and putting together for over 14 years. So this is why I'm now coming to the public, because I've been doing real great work, and all this great work will be seen. And so I will have my Cash App on all the screens, because I receive from the people. And if the people like what they are receiving, we got to keep going to a greater reality. I see the community as an ideal, a divine system that can be on earth anywhere, because it's divine everywhere. This is a system that cannot be destroyed again, because it does not exist physically. This system exists as a Sufyan, Al Sufyan, Allah, Wadu.